constantly cross my mind, and laying in the bed by myself sometimes, yes. I don't need, cause the girls they find, and they like you swear they don't bust it down like you. I apologize. Let's get the video started. This is a replay video on Travis Scott's Astroworld album. I hated this. I'm playing. You all know my feelings on RODEO, right? I thought Travis Scott proved himself with a classic record. I don't give a fuck what you say. RODEO is a classic forever and always. But now we've got his new record, Astroworld. Be happy too, because Lit almost beat this shit out and I'd have been pissed. After careful consideration and many conversations with myself, I've come to the conclusion that Astroworld acts as a decent follow-up to RODEO in the sense that Travis Scott created an atmosphere for himself and landed in a place that he hadn't known before, the household of the Kardashians. And I feel like Astroworld has many subliminal lines, basically hinting at Travis Scott not wanting to be in his environment, being a little bit paranoid, and not feeling fully safe mentally or physically in the place that he's currently at. So he kind of wanted to make a place where he could go for his own catharsis and his own safety. That's why I feel Astroworld was created. But when I think about it from another standpoint, I'm like, what if you took the movie Get Out from Jordan Peele and the main actor never got out, right? Let's just say he pretended to act hypnotized the entire time. That's how I feel like Travis Scott is. I feel like the Kardashians are doing that kind of bullshit to black men, and I feel like Tristan Thompson tried to get out too, and now he's getting ridiculed for it. I don't fuck with that. All I know is there's some odd things going on, and I know for a fact that Travis Scott is experiencing these things, and Astroworld acts as a nice cry for help. You know what we do on here. We go online, we go into the nooks and the crannies of the online universe, and we check out what people's trash opinions are versus my own. Because if you disagree with my opinion that this album was at least pretty good, then you're probably a Kardashian. The first thing we're gonna do is type in Travis Scott, actually. And, whoa, dude's coming to Detroit? Oh shit, wait a minute. Travis Scott real name? What's his real name? I'm gonna act like I didn't see that. Sometimes that mid be hitting. The fuck does that mean? Travis Scott's new album, Astroworld, is really bad. Latest album from Travis Scott plays out like a boring drug trip at an amusement park. Well, I mean, you're half right. Well, it's... Okay, stop fucking... Well, it's here. Anybody that has the capitalized W looking like that, I already know how you get down in life. After 2 years of anxious anticipation, Travis Scott's Astroworld is finally available to the listening public. For being a Kanye West protege and one of the most successful rappers of the last decade, Scott is an enigma. What does enigma mean? Though listeners have gleaned a little insight into his personal life, the Houston-based rapper is known foremost for his trademark production, a combination of surreal ambience with the nightmarish trap rap that has earned Scott a sizable fan base, a group I do not include myself in. Well, that's kind of clear from the title of the article or the review, so you don't really need to emphasize that. What I will say, though, that's a little odd is why people keep wanting to peer into an artist's life as much as they do. Like, maybe that's all he has to talk about. Like, I've always only wanted Scott. I can't call him that. I just can't. No matter how much I grow in this shit, I just can't just not call him Travis Scott. I don't want him to talk about anything more than what he's been talking about, because from the indication of his lyrics and from the music that he's been making, all I can get is that his life isn't as deep as some people try to make it. Maybe you don't need any more insight into his life. Maybe what you see is what you get. I've just wanted him to talk about it in ways that were a little bit more clever, witty, more comical, that would make him an overall more entertaining rapper. But to say that he needs to peer deeper, I don't really even know if he has that.
Personally, I've always regarded Scott as an inventive artist that lacks anything worthwhile to say. And despite the artist's progression from Kanye Kid Cudi clone into a musician capable of standing out on his own achievements, the quality of music, for me, hasn't followed suit.
Man, fuck your suit, okay? Fuck it. I never asked. With Scott's prior studio albums, RODEO and Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight standing as two entirely mediocre albums, I think RODEO is downright terrible. So fucking stupid, man. Oh my god! How has it only been 4 minutes and I already feel like throwing my phone into the nearest garbage can? Ironically enough, Stargazing includes one of the only worthwhile lines on the entire album. Just to drown out all these thoughts, I tried all kinds of things. If I take you to my past, you will be traumatized. What about Scott's past haunts him? Did the above mentioned trauma become the inspiration for the rapper's trademark moody production? Who hurt you, Travis? In response, Scott has the following to say. She keep my dick jumping up. I feel like I'm Moby, wow. Listen, bitch, he literally just said it would traumatize you if I took you to my past, right? That's what he said. Whether or not that's true, you looking for a follow-up to you being traumatized to his past makes absolutely no sense if he just said he didn't want to take you there. So let me keep my exterior strong and keep you on the outside and not let you in and say something external like,
she got my dick up, I feel like a Moby now.
Stop Trying to Be God might be the most mature song Scott has ever released, from Stevie Wonder's Lonely Harmonica to the James Blake Brokenhearted outro. The hallucinogenic dreamscape of a track sounds like an acidic trap anthem merged with an android's idea of a church song. What makes this song trap? Are y'all equating how music in trap music typically sounds for why you say it's trap? Because even then you'd still be wrong. Stop Trying to Be God is not a trap song. What the fuck are you talking about? Acidic trap anthem.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Unfortunately, you'll find no more compliments beyond this point. The remaining 13 tracks bounce between unremarkable throwaways like 5% Tint and Yosemite, and the only memorable aspect of Yosemite is Strangely Quiet Nav feature, which makes the rapper sound like he's singing out the window from across the street. I agree with you, but they fixed it. But even when they fixed it, his verse was still trash. And underdeveloped ideas like R.I.P. Screw and ASTROTHUNDER. ASTROTHUNDER really is like, you know, if you took nothing and made it a song. Also, the idea of a song doesn't necessarily have to be developed for it to be enjoyable or good. For example, the best part of R.I.P. Screw is its very intoxicating instrumental and Sway Lee's beautiful but short vocals. I can go back to that part of the song all the time. I'm not really looking for an idea out of that track. It's just intoxicating. It's nice. My primary critique of the rapper's music on Astroworld, though it can be applied to his entire discography, is the complete lack of identity. Who is Travis Scott? Why should I care about his music? As far as I'm concerned, the album serves no purpose. I don't get why you ask the question why you should care about someone's music after you cared enough about their music to check it out. You care about his music because he's a popular artist. Regardless of whether or not you think he has an identity or not, you know why you checked out his music. You're interested because he's got a lot of traction. He's a buzzing artist. You're making it seem like it's a prerequisite that an artist needs to be interesting to have a lot of eyes on their music. Lil Uzi has literally no subject matter at all, and I'm still interested in Eternal Attack. The fuck, you want him to take you on a date? You want him to woo you before you listen to his album? You want him to take you to dinner? You want him to pick you up from your job with flowers ready and chocolates? Want him to deliver this shit to your door? What do you want? I don't get what it is with this like personality request that you have to know people to enjoy the product that they put out. If you put it out and it sounds quality and I enjoy the music, you have to know who you're listening to. Like, the critique of him not having an identity, you're making it seem like that was ever a strong point for him in the first place. Many artists today craft the same type of moody hype rap that Scott seems intent on creating, but find their own methods of flipping the formula. Case in point, 21 Savage. Are you really trying to say that 21 Savage and Travis Scott make the same kind of music sonically? To clarify, I'm not comparing the artists sonically. But rather on the basis that both create music without any pointedly original or boundary pushing qualities. Dude, just fuck! There's no reason that you should look at an artist like Travis Scott and not acknowledge him pushing boundaries in hip hop. I've never heard someone describe Travis Scott's music as moody hype rap. How old are you? Moreover, apart from a select few near the top of the track list, every track on Astroworld blurs into one long song, rarely deviating from the hyper trippy oversaturated disposition. You sound like a fat guy that eats a lot, so you just can't tell the difference in how food tastes, so you just think it all tastes the same. It would be ignorant to deny Scott's knack for fostering a distinct niche within the genre, and I'll give the rapper his due credit. Didn't you just say that he wasn't boundary pushing? That review was just bad. In my opinion, Astroworld is not as good as it was hyped up to be. I expected it to be the trippiest Travis Scott album, but I'd rather roll or take acid to his other shit than this. I don't get people who are on drugs. I don't know, I waited a long time for Astroworld. I was expecting some shit to get lost in. Guess he has to meet the needs of the suburban white kids. You move like a suburban white kid. I like Travis in spirit, and I like some of what he does. He just does too much. Too much of what? Not that it makes any difference, but I love the album cover of Rodeo, and that album was underwhelming to me. And I love this album cover even more, so I thought maybe this would be better? What? You judge music based off album covers? Too plain, send it back. What makes Travis different, and in my opinion less fun to listen to than his more mainstream counterparts in Migos, is the fact that this album has a veil of artistic integrity that something like Migos doesn't? Critics praise Travis's production and beat changes, and while he's never really been hailed as a great rapper, he's never been treated the way that some of the Look, he's not a trap rapper. He's not a trap rapper. He's never punished for being too simple. You just said he does too much. The bottom line is Astroworld is too simple. You just said he did too much. If this is artistic trap music, give me the mainstream version. And you know what? I'll get bored of that too. What the fuck are you asking for? I don't see all the hype on this album. This album has some dark, heavy tracks on it, but it's pretty paint-by-numbers trap as a whole. If one more bitch calls this album a trap record. 2 Chainz makes trap music. T.I. made trap music. Gucci makes trap music. The trap is in the content in which you speak. This is really an overrated album. The only song I like is Sicko Mode because you're white. Because of Drake. None of this beautiful ass lush production at all. The Dr. Nose. Wish it was a nose. Someone said these little intricate detailed additions to these songs make the song itself work so great. Drake is just an added bonus, but he's not the highlight. In general, there's not much negative to even say about Astroworld. Like, sure, it's a tastemaker type of project, so you either like it or you don't, but labeling it as something as generic as trap rap when it's so futuristic, so forwarding, and comparing it to Rodeo would take away some of the daring material that it actually has. But you have to still acknowledge Rodeo in acknowledging Astroworld, because Astroworld wouldn't be a possibility without Rodeo. Travis Scott opened the door for himself to make Astroworld, and while it's not my favorite over Rodeo, it's still a damn good album. In seeing the reception to this project, it makes me want to listen to it all over again to appreciate those little moments where he does very intricate, small, detailed things to make the songs that much better. Just like a little addition of Sway Lee on Sicko Mode, or having him appear briefly on Rest in Peace. Do I even need to get into the Don Toliver feature on Can't Say? I don't think I do. There are some empty songs here, and I do think Travis Scott could be a little bit more interesting as an MC. But for those of you who are complaining about his lack of interest, or your lack of interest in him lyrically, you have to understand that was never his appeal in the first place, and he didn't become popular based off of having subject matter. Offering that as a negative to his music now doesn't really make sense. I go to Travis Scott because as a rapper and for hip-hop, he to me is what the future looks like. If anything, that's the basic interest I have in Travis Scott, is seeing how hip-hop is probably going to be going forward. Not all music is going to sound like Travis Scott, but as far as mainstream appeal, I can tell half the people that wrote these reviews don't have a fresh haircut, so it just doesn't matter. I'll see y'all next time, and I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna close it out. These bitches really said trap album though. A trap album.